Hey guys, this is Nathan Datugan, 7A Math teacher, and for this video we're going to go over topic 1.5, adding integers. So previously you guys learned on topic 1.4, you guys learned what are integers, and now this video we're going to go over how to add them. So let's recall some things first. Hopefully in your grade school you guys learned how to add numbers on a number line. In this case, if you don't know, here's an example. Our left number, in this case 3, is our starting number, our starting point on the number line, and we're going to move right according to how much we are adding. So in this case, 2. So here's how here's visually. Here's 3, here's our starting number, and we're going to move right 2 times. So we're going to move 1 and then 2. So our answer is 5. This is still true if we started with a negative number. So in this case, negative 5 plus 6. Negative 5 is our starting number, and we're going to move 6 times to the right because we're adding 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our answer is 1. So remember, so okay. So if we move right when we add positive number, then if we add negative numbers, we should move left because again they're opposites, right? So if you add positive number, you go right, negative numbers, you go left. So the first but our starting point still doesn't change. Our left number is always our starting point. In this case, 4. 4 is our starting number, so in this case we draw a dot there. And how much are we going to move left? 7 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's our answer is negative 3. This is still true again if we started with a negative number. In this case, negative 1 plus negative 3. Negative 1 is our starting point, and we're going to move 3 times to the left because we're adding negative 3. So 1, 2, 3. So our answer for this example is negative 4. Since in case you're still not able to visualize this problem, think in terms of money. So a positive integer is like having money, and a negative number is like owing money or debt. So in negative 5 plus 6, you owe $5, but you also have $6. So if you combine those two together, you're you you still you are left with $1. Now let's move on to the other example. In 4 plus negative 7, you have $4, but you also owe someone $7. If you combine those two together, you still owe $3. And in negative 1 plus negative 3, you owe a dollar, but you also owe someone else $4. If you combine those two together, in total you owe $4. Hopefully that kind of click that example kind of click in your head. If not, then just go over it again. Okay, moving on. So the number line, as we shown on these examples, are only useful when the numbers are small. But t- we rarely, but there are times where we're going to add large negative numbers with large positive numbers, and I don't want to draw a number line that span like the whole page just for I can fit all the numbers and then gonna count it. I don't want to do that. I'm too lazy, and that's too exhausting, mentally exhausting, and I'm too lazy. So we have some, so we need something better to use, and that something is called addition rule. So as as you can see, as you can see from these examples, there are two cases where when we add integers. We're adding two numbers with the same sign and adding two numbers with a different sign. In this case, positive and positive and negative and negative. We're adding negative and negative, and we're going to add the positive and positive. And scenario 2 is we're adding two different signs, negative plus a positive or a positive plus a negative. So those are two scenarios when we add some integers. So how do we add those how do we add two numbers in those scenarios? Well, in scenario 1, we're going to find the absolute value of both numbers and add them. Then we're going to use the common sign. Common sign basically means the sign they share. And then scenario 2, we're going to subtract the smaller absolute value from the larger absolute value. Then use the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. So that you might be thinking, wow, I didn't understand anything from what he just said. And that's okay. We're going to go over that in some examples so that you kind of see what this what they're trying to say. Okay, so in this case we have negative 11 plus negative 21. So first thing first, you're going to figure out which scenario we're going to do, scenario 1 or scenario 2. In this case, they're both negative, so we're going to use scenario 1. So first thing first, we're going to find the absolute value of both numbers. So in this case, what's the absolute value of negative 11 and what's the absolute value of negative 21? Well, there are 11 and 21. Excuse me for a second. So now that we find the absolute value of both numbers, we're going to add them. 11 plus 21 is 32. Is it done? No, it's not done yet. There's another part. We're going to use the common sign. What is the common sign, Desha? The common sign is negative. So the answer is negative 32. So we're just going to combine this sign with the number that we got from adding. That's basically how we do scenario 1. How do we do scenario 2? Let's start. We have 9 plus negative 23. So in this case, we're going to use scenario 2. First thing first, find the absolute value of both numbers. In this case, 9. Absolute value of 9 is 9, and absolute value of negative 23 is 23. And then we're going to subtract them. Again, we're going to subtract the smaller number from the larger number. So 23 minus 9 is equals to 14. And then we're simply going to use the sign of the larger absolute value. What does this mean? Since negative 23 is larger than 9, since 23 is larger than 9, we're going to use the sign of negative 23. That's why we're going to use negative. So our answer is negative 14. So here's another scenario, scenario 2. Scenario 1 is kind of easy, right? We just simply find the absolute value of both numbers and then we're going to add them, and we're just going to find the sign of the sign they share. Scenario 2, some people get this, a lot of people get wrong. A lot of people get it wrong here. So we're going to have a lot of scenario 2. So let's do C. We have negative 27 plus 18. So again, they're both different signs, so we're going to use scenario 2. Find the absolute value of both numbers. Negative 27 is 27 and absolute value of 18 is 18. Now we're going to subtract them. Again, your bigger number goes first, and your smaller number is your number to the right. We're going to subtract 27 minus 18, and hopefully you get 9. So we got the number aspect down. Now we're just going to figure out if it's negative or positive. How do we figure that out? Well, we're just going to compare which one's bigger, which absolute value is bigger, negative 27 or 18. Well, which one's bigger? Well, 27 is bigger than 18, since so the absolute value of negative 27 is bigger. So the sign we're going to use is negative. So our answer is negative 9. So the answer is negative 9. Now let's try some scenarios. Another scenario, negative 7 plus 11. Again, this is scenario 2. We're going to find the absolute value of negative 7 and 11, which are 7 and 11. Oh, my English is so bad. Are 7 and 11. And then we're going to subtract them. Again, subtract them larger minus the smaller number. In this case, 11 minus 7, which is 4. Now we're going to find the absolute value of the sign of our now we're going to find the sign of our answer, and to do so we're going to compare the absolute value of both numbers. Since, as you can see, absolute value of 11 is bigger than the absolute value of negative 7, we use positive. So our answer is 4 or positive 4. You guys don't have to throw the positive 4 sign here. Again, it's implied that it's positive, but if you want, you can still put a positive sign in front of the number. It doesn't, you still get it correct on your papers. Now, sometimes we get scenarios where we're going to add more than 2 integers. How do we add them? Well, we're going to add them. We simply add 2 numbers at a time. So in this case, we have negative 4 plus negative 70 plus 61. We're going to add 2 numbers at a time. So first thing first, we're going to add negative 4 and negative 70. So what is negative 4 times, not times, negative 4 plus negative 70? Well, they're the same signs, and we're going to add the absolute value of 4 and 70. So 4 plus 70 is 74, and the sign they share is negative, so that means your answer is negative 74. 61 stays as is because we're not adding anything. So now we're just going to add negative 74 plus 61. Negative 4 plus negative 6, negative 74 plus positive 61. Well, they're different signs, so this is scenario 2. So scenario 2, we're going to subtract the absolute value of negative 74 and negative 61, and the absolute value of negative 74 and 61, not negative 61, my bad on that. Negative 7, so the absolute value of negative 74 is 74, absolute value of 61 is 61, so we're going to subtract 74 minus 61, which is 13. And the sign we're going to use is, which one is the larger one again? 74, 61? 74. So the sign we're going to use is negative. So your answer is negative 13. Now pause the video here and we'll try to practice by yourself, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, let's try the practice together. Hope, hope, hopefully you guys actually pause the video and did the practice by yourself. So let's try number 1. This is scenario 2. Scenario 2 tells us we're going to subtract 42 minus 27, which is let me compute that. 15. And since 42 is larger than 27, our answer is negative 15. Again, I'm not going to write the steps by steps. Hopefully you guys write that on by yourself. We're just going to try doing the practice together to get the answers. Now let's do number 2. In this case, number 2, negative 19 plus negative 11 is scenario 1 or 2? Well, scenario 1. So we're just simply going to add 19, the absolute value of negative 19, and the absolute value of negative 11. 19 plus 11 is 40. No, 30. And what sign? But we're not done yet, right? What is the sign of our final answer? What sign do you both share? Negative. So your answer is negative 30. This is now number 3 is a bit hard. We're 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 just going to do it by parts again, as shown as the previous example. $52 plus negative 30 is $22. 22 plus negative 46 is negative 24. So your answer is negative 24. Hopefully you guys did it. If you guys didn't know how to do it, again, refer back to this example. Just kidding, we're gonna do this together. 52 plus negative 30. Negative 52 plus negative 30, that's scenario 1 or 2? That's scenario 2, right? Scenario 2 is scenario 2, so we're going to subtract 52 minus 30. 52 minus 30 is 22. And then what sign is our answer going to be? Positive, since 52 is larger than 30. So it's going to be positive 22. Now we're just going to bring down negative 46 down. 22 plus negative 46. Again, this is scenario 2. +22 plus negative 46. So this scenario 2, we're going to find the absolute value of both numbers. So how do we do this? We're just going to subtract 46 minus 22. 46 minus 22 is 24. And the sign of our number is going to be negative since 46 is larger than 22. That's basically how we find 3. Now let's try another practice. In this case, we're going to evaluate the expression. Hopefully by now you guys should know what to do first. Oh yeah, pause the video here, try it on yourself. Now let's try, hopefully you did this practice A to C by yourself. Now let's try this together. So first thing first, substitute rewrite all the letters so that they're numbers. X for A is x plus negative 9. So if you substitute negative 12 to x, you're going to get negative 12 plus negative 9. And this is scenario 1. Scenario 1 tells us that we're just going to add 12 plus 9, which is 21. But we're not done yet. What is the sign we're going to use? Negative 21. That's basically it. What sign we're going to use? Well, they're both negative. Again, we're not going to refer to this part. We're not going to refer to this part of the video. I mean, this part of the solution, because this is when we added the absolute value. What we want is this signs, okay? Not this sign. Since they're both negative, your answer is going to be negative. What's the number is 21. So our final answer is negative 21. Now let's try B. B is a bit no, not a bit easy. My bad on that. First thing first, we write the variables as numbers. So x becomes negative 12 plus 17 plus negative 16. So this is, first thing first, we should add negative 12 and 17. This is scenario 2, not scenario 1. So hopefully you guys know how to add different signs. We're going to subtract. So 17 minus 12 is 5. What is the sign of 5? Which one's larger, negative 12 or 17? 17. So I'm talking about absolute value just in case you didn't get it. What's the larger absolute value? Negative 12 or 17? Well, it's 17, so it's positive. So our answer is positive. Now we're just going to bring down the two numbers, the remaining number, plus negative 16. 5 plus negative 16 is 11. And then the sign of 11 is going to be negative. Five plus negative 16 is negative 11. Hopefully you guys got the same answer as me on B. Now let's try C. y plus x, first thing first, substitute the variables, the numbers with the variables. Negative 16, y becomes negative 16 plus negative 12. This is scenario 1. So hopefully you guys know how to do scenario 1. What do we do when we have scenario 1? We're just going to add the absolute value of both numbers. In this case 16 plus 12. 16 plus 12 is 28. And then what sign is our number going to, what is the sign of our answer going to be? Negative. Because both negative both number 16 and 12 is negative. So our answer should be negative 28. And that's basically it for topic 1.5. You guys try doing the homework or try doing some practice, but hopefully you guys learned a lot for this topic 1.5. And again, I'm encouraging you to learn the rules by heart, because next video is going uh, this rule is basically what going to what we're going to use this rule a bit more in the other sections. That's basically what I'm trying to say. We're going to use this rules on other topics. So I want you guys to at least remember this by heart, because since we got is to learn integers, we're going to use integers throughout the school year. So at least learn this. At least, oh, never mind. Just learn this, please. I beg of you, learn this rule. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.